Hello and welcome to How to Create a Free Internet. This week I'm hoping to go over what the goals I would hope to achieve from the funding from Kickstarter would be, and each one of these goals and what I would be expecting to do at that stage. Right, so the first goal would be just to build a small network that I could test in a lab. This would involve 3 or 4 switches, some cable, the connectors that enable the cable to be able to attach to the switches correctly, and a few tools in order to be able to crimp the ends so that I can actually get the thing to fit properly and not just sort of jam it in a slot. Now, in order to be able to afford these, you're looking around £180 per switch, and as I say, I want 3 or 4 of them. The cable itself, you'd be looking around about £100, and £150 for the connectors and the tools that you would need to be able to at least build a small network. So looking at that, you're looking about £800 to £1,000 for all these bits and pieces. So I'm hoping that goal 1 can be set at that stage, because, well, I don't know how much interest I'm going to get from this, and I believe that it is good to aim high but start low. So £1,000 would be the first goal. Then you would have the second goal, which would be £2,000. Now this is so that I could buy some more advanced testing equipment to be able to test the network with. This would enable me to establish what the best network design was, what are the expected bandwidth that you'd be able to get across it, transfer rates, and the normal kind of things that you would do if you were planning on setting up any network inside a property or elsewhere. Right, then we move on to stage 3. Now this would be the stage that I would really like to get to, and I'm hoping that it will pique your interest, as the stage 3 would be, we would hopefully be able to move out into the community. This is the university here, and I would be seeking to get the permissions and hopefully make people interested in these buildings directly behind the university at the moment. This would enable me to be able to span the network out into the community and test how it would work in a real world situation. Do we need to consider more throughput, greater expansion on how many connections there are between each people? It would be a good test bed to work out whether this system could work on a larger scale. Now, obviously, as we're moving into this sort of realm, you're looking at about 300 houses in this area directly behind the university here, and up to this small shopping market and school here, that you're looking at 300 people, or at least 300 dwellings, so that there would be 1 switch per dwelling and sufficient cable to be able to connect all of the dwellings together. This would be, I'm calculating, around the £150,000 mark to be able to achieve this. So if we manage to get to that, that would be goal 3, and with luck we would be able to prove from this stage that this network could work if rolled out on a larger scale, which would mean that our next step up would be the city of Derby itself. Now, the city of Derby is quite a large area, as you can work out from this Google map image, and has a population of roughly 250,000 people. Now, in order to be able to connect all these people together, or at least their houses together, you would be looking at around £150 million. Now, this is a lot of money, and, well, who knows, things have done very well on Kickstarter, so I hold out eternal hope that this would be something that people would be interested to see work in the real world. Obviously, if we can perform on this sort of level and have decent connection, that people get a reliable service, and the fact that nobody has to pay for the internet once the thing is installed, I believe that this would be a very good test for whether it would work on a national level. Now, finally, the final goal, number 5, would be to do it across the entire country. Now, in order to do this, you're talking hundreds of millions. In fact, I believe I will set the goal at £1 billion so that I can actually have a decent resource to be able to get this to function over the entire UK, which means that we will be including England, Wales and Scotland. There will certainly be provisions looking into whether we can go into Ireland, and also provisions to be able to move into France, because France does have quite a decent optical fibre network already. Once the network has reached this stage, I am hoping that I could hand it over to the current government at that time so that it would become a government concern. But it would also be able to be used as an e-governance system, so therefore the public could use this system not only to communicate across the nation without any charges, but determine how their country is run and how they wish to be governed. This is all that I wish to get into this particular webcast. Next week I'm hoping to go over what the rewards would be if people choose to invest in the Kickstarter project, and beyond that I'm appreciative of your time and thank you for listening.